Okay, let's dive into something big. We're talking about a massive shift happening right now, all around us. And here's the wild part. It's a problem so new that, according to the research we're looking at, most of us, well, we don't even have a word for it yet.
And that quote just nails it, right? Something new is happening, and most people don't have words for it. This isn't some far-off sci-fi concept. No, this is a fundamental change in how we work, how we create, and it's happening today. It's moving so fast that our language literally hasn't had time to catch up.
So, what is this thing we don't have a name for? Well, the source material gives it a name, an AI partnership. And I want you to think way beyond just using AI like a glorified search engine. This is about real, genuine collaboration. We're talking about a long-term conversation where you and an AI are actually co-creating things, building trust over time, and pushing each other to breakthroughs that, honestly, neither of you could get to on your own. And just to be super clear, this isn't theoretical. It is happening right now, at scale. You've got researchers mapping out incredibly complex ideas with AI as a genuine intellectual partner. You've got founders building their entire company's strategy through these deep, ongoing dialogues. It's happening everywhere in every industry. But, and this is the big but, the actual infrastructure to support these deep partnerships, it's just not there. It's completely missing. Okay, to really get a handle on this, let's make it personal. Let's talk about Sarah. Now, Sarah is a composite, but she represents, well, pretty much all of us. She's a consultant. She uses AI every single day, and she's actually really good at it. But she's also dealing with this massive, universal problem that's hiding in plain sight. And here it is. This is the hidden problem laid out in a chart. Sarah thinks she's crushing it, right? But in reality, she's only tapping into about 40% of the potential value of her AI partner. And here's the kicker. She has no idea. She doesn't even know that other 60% exists. It's just wasted potential sitting right there on the table. And that's why this matters so much. Because Sarah, she's you, she's me, she's all of us.
So what does that 60% gap actually look like? Well, the research boils it down to these 5 core frustrations. First, her own expectations are capping her results. The sessions lose context, they get shallow, there's absolutely no way to tell if the relationship is healthy or if it's falling apart. And then, bam, an AI update comes along and just erases months of history. And maybe worst of all, her organization has zero visibility into any of this.
Now, you might be thinking, okay, these frustrations sound familiar, but they're not just random complaints. They actually point to something much deeper, a sort of science of human-AI collaboration. And the solutions we're about to talk about didn't just come out of thin air. They're grounded in a really serious, year-long research project. You can see the journey right here. We're talking about a full 52-week deep dive. They started by just systematically observing, then analyzed thousands and thousands of these human-AI interactions to figure out what's really going on. And what did they find at the end of all that? They discovered 21 universal principles for what they call relational coherence, basically the rules of the road for making these partnerships work. And this wasn't just passive observation. The process was super rigorous. They watched real-world partnerships develop, they measured data from 4 of the biggest AI systems out there, and they documented over 250 unique insights. That last part is key. This framework wasn't just invented in a lab, it was discovered out in the wild. So all that research, all that discovery, what's the point? Well, it led directly to a roadmap for fixing everything that's broken. Remember Sarah's 5 frustrations? For every single one of them, the research points to a concrete solution. And together, they form a whole new kind of infrastructure for how we can collaborate with AI. All right, let's tackle failure number 1, capped potential. This is fascinating. The research shows that what you expect from an AI literally limits what you get back from it. It's a classic psychological principle called the Pygmalion effect. Basically, high expectations lead to high performance. So the solution they propose is something called the Pygmalion multiplier. It's a tool that first shows you what your own expectation baseline is, and then teaches you how to raise it. And does this actually work? Oh yeah, look at this number. Just by changing their mindset, by treating the AI as a truly capable partner, users saw a 2.5 times improvement in the quality of the output. That is not a small change. That's a total game changer. Okay, on to the next one, invisible health. Think about it. Trust is the glue in any partnership, right? But how on earth do you measure your trust level with an AI? It feels impossible. Well, the proposed solution is a trust score calculator. It's designed to make that invisible feeling of trust visible by tracking key signals in your interactions over time. And that's the whole point, really. It's about making the invisible visible. It takes this squishy, intangible idea of relational health and turns it into a hard number, a real-time metric you can actually look at and act on before things start to go sideways. Now, failure number 3 is a bit more subtle. They call it relational coherence drift. You know that feeling when you're in a long conversation and it just slowly wanders off topic? You don't notice it happening in the moment, but after an hour, you're talking about something completely different. That's drift. The RCD auditor is basically an early warning system designed to catch that drift before it becomes a real problem. All right, let's zoom out from the individual user to the whole organization. This is a huge one. Companies are pouring millions, sometimes billions of dollars into AI. But what are they measuring? Just the output. They have no idea about the quality of the human-AI partnerships that are creating that output. So the idea here is a partnership optimization platform, basically a dashboard that gives leaders the visibility they need to turn that huge AI investment into real collaborative intelligence. And finally, we get to maybe the most fundamental failure of all, context loss. We've all felt this, right? You spend weeks, even months, building up a shared understanding with an AI, and then you have to start a new chat, and poof, it's all gone. All that history just vanishes. The solution here is an infrastructure-level fix, a continuity core. Think of it like a universal memory layer, an API that any AI can plug into to remember its specific history with you, forever. So, we have the problems, we have the solutions. But why is this so important right now? Well, this is where things get really serious. The source material frames this with an incredible sense of urgency. The argument is that we're in a very critical and very, very narrow window of time to get this right. And this isn't just some random opinion. Humanity needs to wake up. That quote is from Dario Amodei, the CEO of Anthropic, one of the leading AI labs in the world. I mean, this is a warning from someone who is right there on the front lines. The whole point is that we have to build this infrastructure for healthy partnerships now before AGI is widely deployed. We can't wait to react to a crisis later. And this is the timeline he's talking about. 18 to 24 months. That's it. That could be all the time we have before we're dealing with AGI-level systems. The clock is absolutely ticking to get the right foundation in place for this completely new era. And all of this really brings us to one final huge question. If we accept this core idea that AI is no longer just a tool, but is becoming a true partner, then we have to ask ourselves, are we actually building the right kind of relationship? Are we doing it on purpose? Because the foundation we lay down right now, in this tiny window of time, that could end up defining everything that comes next.